Hello, Bucks fans. This is Real Bucks Talk. Back again with another video. And today I want to talk about the Buccaneers and if they have a chance of building a winning streak. And I know, guys, I know probably not. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough for this team to find consistency, right? Out of the blue, especially losing, 6 out of the last 7 games. It doesn't look good for this team as the train has definitely fallen off the tracks. But can they find a way to put things together and win? I mean, 4-7 and miraculously, you're only 1 game out of first place as the Falcons are 5-6, Saints 5-6. Then the Panthers are 1-10, who's your opponent tomorrow. That should be a fun game, right? Yeah. um, and then you look at the leaders, look at all the leaders in the other divisions. I mean, 49ers, Detroit, Philadelphia, and Dallas all have huge point differentials in the positive. That means they're good teams and both sides of the ball complement each other. Buccaneers don't really do that. Again, negative point differential at negative 15. Offense hasn't been good enough. Defense has been giving up way too many yards, even though it has been okay in the red zone. But they're giving up more big plays. Offenses are scoring touchdowns at any time, and again, third downs they can't get off the field. So that's a huge issue. And you look at the Colts game last week, I mean, the Colts just found ways to continue to go up and down the field, find ways to put the ball in the end zone, whether it's running or throwing. So there's not much resistance on that side. And then offensively, it continues to be the inconsistencies at quarterback with Baker Mayfield and his limitations, play sequencing, run game inconsistency, even though it has been better. But yeah, it's been a struggle so far for this team. And now the injuries are starting to creep up, especially with Levante David out, Devin White. Might not have Chris Godwin for tomorrow. So there's just injuries starting to, really hurt in the wrong spots. But looking at it, I mean, yeah, there's still an opportunity, guys, which is crazy. And just here's the schedule remaining. You have 6 games left. You got 2 against Carolina. So you would hope the Buccaneers can win those 2, right? I mean, if they don't, then obviously this season is pretty much toast. I mean, tomorrow is a do or die game, and you definitely have to win tomorrow. I think the Buccaneers are the better team, even though Carolina is getting reinforcements for their defense. They're getting Jeremy Chin, J.C. Horn, Matos back, all those guys to help out. Um, but I mean, Todd Bowles is a defensive coach. His defense has been an issue over the last several weeks, and this is a good game for them to get right and really be aggressive and take it to a Carolina offense that has been putrid, like really bad. So I would expect to see a very similar result like we did against Tennessee. I'd be surprised if we didn't. Now, again, Carolina just got a new head coach in the interim with their special teams coordinator. So again, they're going to be hyped. They're going to be ready to go, ready to put their best effort forward. So that will make it a challenge, and see if the Buccaneers are really serious about making a push for the playoffs. But after Carolina, you got Atlanta, Green Bay, Jacksonville, and New Orleans. Again, all those teams have 5 wins or more. Again, 3 of them are still under 500, but at the same time, those other teams have been playing better at as a whole than the Buccaneers. So I mean, it's going to be tough. I don't see us really beating. I don't see us having a chance against Jacksonville, and then Carolina at the end of the year. So that gives you a great opportunity to put together wins. But we've been saying that for a while since this second half has started and second half of the season has started. Will this team be able to put a run together? And it just doesn't look like it, especially with the up and down play on both sides, and then also the coaching decisions with the lack of use of timeouts, when to go for it, when not to go for it, usage of player personnel on both sides of the ball. And this was a great great tweets by John Ledyard, who said the Bucs are 15th in offensive EPA, which is okay. Again, that's improving, 13th in drop back. So again, not great, but it has been a better process moving forward, and I think that's a good sign of this offense trending in the right direction and probably on their way to scoring more points, which is good. Defense been the other direction. It's been continuing to go down and get worse, and that's not good if your head coach, his specialty is defense, right? And it should be something that should be improving throughout the season or at least being consistent and getting better, and it just hasn't. Um, and looking at Todd Bowles, definitely on the hot seat. It just doesn't look good for him being the head coach next year. Again, they have to go on a streak for him probably to keep his job. And you look at last season, the defense had dealt with more injuries than they have so far this year. Again, this unit for the defense has been relatively healthy for most of the season. Last year, um, only giving up 324 yards per game. So that was way better than it is now. You're giving up closer to 370 yards per game. Yards per play, 5.14. That's good. Pass defense was only 203 yards allowed. Net per attempt was 6. Sacks, 45, which they might get still this year. Tackles for loss. But the biggest thing is the third down percentage, 36.9. And that is something that Todd Bowles has usually had his defense in the top 10 for most of his time here. And that's something that has taken a big step backwards. 44% right now allowed. And that's huge. That means you're not getting off the field as much as you used to, even though I know a lot of people will say the red zone defense still has been good. You're only giving up 20.6 points per game, which is an improvement from last year where they're giving up 21. And we can look at that. I mean, here's the yards allowed. Again, 363. You see that right there. Versus 330, last year. But and then you look at the points per game, again, still in the top half at 20.6, which is good, but your offense is still not good enough to help you out, 19.3. So, yeah, I mean, you could make a case that, Todd Bowles should stay on just because of what the offense has gone through. But at the same time, you're looking at his unit alone, you wish would have made more strides than it has, and it just hasn't been there this season consistently. And finding ways to help this team win games offensively, yes, it needs to be a lot better, especially when you look at the top teams in the league. Pretty much all the top offenses have near winning records, and I think that's a big sign of this team where offense has to find a way to be better. And again, that responsibility still falls on Todd Bowles, unfortunately. He's the one who made the hire of Dave Canales, and Dave is a rookie play caller. So when you look at that, you look at Dave Canales being a rookie play caller, also the fact that Baker Mayfield has been, um, inconsistent. You look at his numbers right here, 2,500, over 2,500 yards, but only 6.8 yards per pass. That means you're not getting enough explosives. The offense is taking a lot of time to get into the red zone and find ways to score, and then they're not scoring. So it just leads for, more mistakes, flags, penalty, drops, all those things because you're not getting the big play results down the field. So you have inconsistencies there, and then you can't run the football. Again, one of the worst rushing attacks, well, the worst rushing attack in the league. So when you add that all up, it results in a bad football team. So again, a lot of changes are most likely on the way, as we see on this schedule. It doesn't look good for the Buccaneers, but can they make a run? Absolutely. Will it happen? Probably not. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, just something to dive into and look at, kind of give you guys a landscape of where this team is right now. Tomorrow's game should be interesting, but be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Let us know your thoughts as far as what do you see for this team heading down the stretch. Do you think it's capable for them to put things together and maybe win 5 out of the last 6? Or is the sink pretty much done and set and it's sinking, and we're going to have a new staff most likely next year? Let us know what you guys think. Leave some comments. And with that said, until the next one.